Hey guys, welcome to the 26th Australian Street Ride Federation Nationals held at the Bendigo Showgrounds. They have over 1,250 rods at this event, so an awesome turnout. We've captured a few of them and we'll take you for a walk through. So this is a very cool 33 coupe with a 409 W head motor. It's got the early big block Chevy with a very traditional look. Features Offenhauser rocker covers, wide steelies, patina paint, and some interesting tail lights. This 36 Roadster belongs to Mick, which was definitely a head turner at the event. What we're looking at are Fulton aftermarket add-on parts. Very cool and hard to come by. Mick finished this car in a matter of weeks, which is quite an achievement. The Fulton manufacturing company, based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was known for their quality construction parts that often featured chrome-plated and polished pieces, complementing automotive styling of that period with that real Art Deco feel from the 30s. Some of these accessories were sold through automotive parts stores, mail order catalogues and dealerships, where you could get them added to your car. As Mick mentioned, finding these parts was quite a challenge. The car's not finished yet, but will be soon. So this is Mick's 35 that won the Nats in 2017 here in Bendigo as well. Another killer car built by the owner, who's very passionate about the 35s and 36s, as is his partner Kim. They've got several amongst their collection. Here's a 32 Vicky, you don't see too many of them. And how cool is Ted's 34 5-window with the laid back windscreen? The rear's been chopped about 6 inches with the body channelled about 6 inches as well. That roof scoop aids in stopping dust from entering the cab while racing on the salt flats. It's got a 401 Nailhead with Hilborn injection, and the grille is from a 1939 Nash Lafayette, a very rare item. The car uses a HK steering box and it's got a fantastic stance thanks to some creative building from Ted and Webby. Ted once had a business building quick changes, and this quick change rear end is actually one of his creations. There's a set of ladder bars holding that in place, and there might actually be a sneaky set of airbags down there too, just to get that ride height exactly right. Webby's Speed Shop, who helped build the car we just saw, owns this very cool delivery. I'm betting there's a set of airbags under that one, judging by the stance. Looks like this one's been around a while, but gets plenty of use, which is great to see. Very traditional style interior with spindle wheels on the front. This Flathead 6 has a set of triples, which is very cool. You don't often see that. It has finned side panels complemented by the firewall, diamond stitching interior that looks very nice. I'm not sure what the tail lights are from, but they look very cool, something a bit different. Along with that T-top, it's been chopped down and a quick change rear end just to finish it off with the wire wheels. It's got a very cool look about it. Quick change rear ends got their name because they allowed racers to rapidly swap gear ratios without removing the entire differential from the car. The Hilborn V8 quick change was the gold standard in the 1960s. Franklin, Winters and Culver were all other popular quick change manufacturers during this era. They were particularly essential in oval track racing where different tracks required specific gear ratios for optimal performance. Love this yellow 3-window with the salt flat racing wheels and a B&M blower. Looks very cool. Kind of like a root style looking blower. This is Bugsy's tea bucket. It's got a lot of history. 671 blower on a 302 Windsor and top loader. It was first built in 1965 and Brett's planning on keeping it this way for prosperity. The wear and tear shows it's done over 30,000 kilometres, which is a lot of K's to do in a tea bucket. Credit to the original owner and to Brett for keeping it on the road and preserving its history. Definitely a well-known tea bucket. This is Pete's wildly blown 34 coupe, the fuel injected induction at the top. It's got the bead locks on the back, so definitely built to go hard. Bead locks and hoozies, you can't go wrong there. This 34 coupe we saw at the Coal Lake Motor Fest. It's known as Herbalicious and has a big block Chev with fuel injection and staggered stacks, which look very cool. Credit to Peter, the owner, for what he's built. Sean and Angie's A model, aptly named Rattlin. Sean's done a great job shoehorning in that motor, definitely with the extractors, which is part of his business at Colliver Headers. Sean also uses this for advertising, as they own Henry's T&A Parts. Great with this soft top roof, which they sell through their business. Great for letting in plenty of light and fresh air. She's a real sleeper, this one, with the hood closed. There are only a couple of little giveaways, either looking between the vents on the side or spotting the shifter in the middle of the floor. Very cool and sneaky too. Great job by Sean. This one's got a very cool look with the flathead, Edelbrock heads, blower, and the twin 97s. Very traditional with the white walls. It all just fits very nicely together. Another very cool Roadster is this 32. It's got salt flat racing wheels again, and he's put a bit of colour on there which looks good. Different rocker covers, and the batwing air cleaner is something a bit different too. Very tidy with the side pipes as well. '40s banjo steering wheel sets it off, very popular. Love this open back window too, is very cool, lets the air flow through. It's kept the original fuel tank, which quite often they delete. And there's even a cool tool chest inside. Beautifully done with the upholstery. This is Mario's 32 coupe. He's had this for quite a while. It's a SoCal chassis with Juice Customs body. It's It's got the dicky seat, and you quite often see at many rod runs with people in the dicky seat as they're doing laps. It runs a 307 Chevy built by Noel Ingham with a turbo 700 trans in there. Fantastic job, and another car that's been on the road for quite a while and gets driven, so applause for that. This is a beautiful 32 Tudor. The owner's wife drove it here, and she told me that even though she couldn't reach the aircon and the windows, she had the choice of driving either this or the Dodge Ram with the Caravan, and I think she definitely picked the right choice. And she said to me, you know what, I'll deal with what I've got here, and drove this, thoroughly enjoying it. Looks like a 5-window no chop, very cool set of triples on the traditional flathead. Spindle wheels on the front, again a cool look. And then we've got this 32 which has the artillery wheels that really set it off, complemented by the flame job on there. It's got the Beehive oil cooler and a few other finned components with the ram sworn manifolds. Pop-out windscreen, which would suggest it's probably a steel body. The banjo steering wheel, 8-ball shifter, all adding to a very cool car. This is a replica of John Milner's 5-window from the movie American Graffiti. I love the number plate. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what that means. In the original film, Milner touted that it was a 327 Chevy when in actual fact it was only a 283 Chevy. And multiple versions of the car were used in the movie. The car was purchased for about $1,300 to use in the film, a bargain even by early 1970s standards. The distinctive yellow colour eventually became known as Milner Yellow amongst hot rodders. After filming, the primary car was sold to a private collector, so it still does exist, which is very cool. This beauty sports a Hemi, very nice tight fit in there. How cool is this Willys with the Escuderian cams advertising on the side? It's got the right stance, Hilborn scoop out of the bonnet. Cross diamond stitching inside and that race look. Even the tack looks good. Not sure if it's a sun or a moon tack, but very cool item. This 60 Chevy delivery is owned by Adrian, also known as Pontiac Man. He's had a few of the Pontiacs in his time. The blower looks great sticking out of the bonnet, the twin carbs. This vehicle has gone through a couple of incarnations over its time. It looks great and white and slammed on the ground with those spats. Young fella here is curious. Are there actually back wheels under there? Got to get down and have a look. This is Ralph's 1928 Ford Roadster. Again, we've got the aftermarket banjo wheel, smaller version of it. Quick shifter in there, Ford in a Ford, great to see, and running a 32 grille. Here's a bare metal blown 41 Ford with salt flat racing wheels. Very cool. Love the satin finish over the running gear. Machine blower and scoop just to match. Sheet metal interior looks very cool as well. Love the bare metal basics and the style and finish of it. Nice timber work in the back as well. This is Don's 41 Willys, which was unveiled at the Sydney Hot Rod Show last year. It's definitely won plenty of awards and will have more to come. Good to see it down here out and about, brought down from New South Wales. It has a lot of great detail, very stylish and period correct in the way that the sheet metal work has been finished off inside here. Beautiful colour too, with that brown with gold and a big set of Hella brands on the back just to finish it off. Then we've got this 28 5-window, again sporting the artillery wheels with a nice chop. Interesting cross ram manifolds fitting 2 4-barrels there, probably around 600, 750 CFM. Plenty of interest around John's 33 Ford. This is C&W Components body. They do come chopped, but John got some extra chop done on it, an additional 2.5 inches taken out with the A-pillars leaned back as well. It has a 1940 steering wheel, drilled SoCal I-beam, transverse springs and short shocks on the front. The 1940s Steelies with 1940 Ford caps and traditional quick change look fantastic. Another look inside shows the 1940 wheel and beautifully arranged gauges. It's got a 1968 427 FE big block Ford in it. Edelbrock heads, 870 Holly and C4 Auto, that'll keep it moving along. Don't have much details about this one. Love the race seats, battery protected in the back. I love the dropped I-beam axle there drilled out as the rear bumper. Cycle guards and cross-ply tyres, and again the quick change, the transverse leaf spring going across the back. A nice big Hemi up the front with the Arden heads. These Arden heads were originally designed to solve overheating problems in flatheads used in military applications during World War II, which is interesting. They were designed by Zorakas Duntov, who later became famous as the father of the Corvette. Here's another interesting quick change with the moon eyes gauge. You don't see too many of those. Another flathead with an MSD ignition. If you're going to drive them, you want reliability. I love the injector stacks on this beautiful little 28 too. This one's got the Hamilton blower and moon tank on the front, which I believe actually fuels the motor. Beautiful injection setup. This had only just been finished, so it's a fresh build. I think this was its first outing at the Nats. It's apparently a very tough car. I didn't quite get to hear it, but by all accounts it does sound tough. Has a nice quick change under there again. Traditional flame job. Love that raw magnesium finish on the rocker covers and blower as well. It looks very, very cool, very old school. This is a Hudson with B-pillars have been leaned forward. Very cool custom. It's got the Frenched headlights, it's been chopped and bagged, and I'd say the bonnet's been peaked as well, just to give it that finish. Very traditional style grille in it. This is a 1938 Ford beer barrel pickup. They call it a beer barrel due to the shape of the grille on there, looking very similar to a beer barrel. Got 6 carbies on there, sitting on a very interesting cross ram manifold. The red definitely stands out and complements with the cream interior. White walls on Hilborns. This 1950 Buick is owned by the Arnell family. Very cool car. It's obviously been lowered a bit, so give it a better stance. These cars ran a 248 cubic inch from about 1937 through to this year, before 1951 they changed to the Fireball motor. Another one of the Arnell cars, and here we have Ev's Fairlane. Loves getting around in this. You'll see her at a lot of car shows and rod runs. Runs a few of her own as well up in the country Victoria. This is something different. This is Rod's 1925 Dodge, sporting a Ford V8 in there. Something a bit different. This is Gary's 1909 all-steel T-model Ford. It's got a beautiful Jag rear end. This used to be very popular amongst the rodders. Great velour interior. I'm guessing it's been around a little while. Very cool C-cab this with the wire wheels. It's got a 302 Windsor in it, so that'll keep it pedalling along nicely. This is an interesting piece. It's got some very old school pieces on there, including the Navarro heads. So Barney Navarro started his speed shop in Los Angeles in the 1940s, becoming one of the pioneering figures in the early hot rod movement. His famous 8-to-1 heads raised compression significantly. He also produced, beyond cylinder heads, he produced other components including intake manifolds, exhaust heads, pistons and camshafts. And he was more scientific about it rather than just creating and testing at the strip. He was well known for doing really well on the salt flats. This is an interesting car. It's a 1948 Ford Pilot, and I guess you'd say that's a Carson top. Whether it's technically a Carson top, it certainly looks like a Carson top. Looks like a much older build, but obviously gets driven, which is very cool. Hilborn scoop out the bonnet. Very cool mascot on the front there. Something a bit different you don't see too often. This is Gab's 1938 Ford Coupe. The full tilt bonnet on there. Something a bit different. Running a Chev motor. Looks like a nice tight fit. Interesting FJ here. It looks like it's been inspired by a well-known effigy. Don't know much more about it. Very cool custom. That modern street machine look going on. Tony's 1929 A model. Lovely amount of louvers got in there, and interior. Running a later model 4-banger, or later model for what this car would have come out with.
David's 58 Chevy pickup. Very cool with the white and the blue flames, definitely sets it off. Got the stake bed on the back there, the step side. Your Pearlcraft steering wheel, no doubt. Looks nice with the blue and white pleated seats. This is Ray's 57 Buick Century. So anybody who knows Ray knows he has a green 56 version, and this is his 57 version. So they normally are a 3-piece dash, but he's welded it up to be a 1-piece dash and left the padding off. It's in aqua blue over silver bullet, and riding on air suspension, air ride air suspension. A stunning car, and definitely stands out. This is Lenny's 1932 Chevy Vicky. It's running some very cool early stuff, including friction shocks. Little interesting note about the friction shocks is they were invented by Truffle before the 1900s and were widely used in the 1930s before being considered obsolete. There's 5 carbies running on a 6-cylinder motor. Like an EK FE Holden steering wheel in there, keeping with the GM brand. It's not SoCal, it's Sogal, as it's a female hot rodder who owns and drives this. It's great to see. Robert's 1932 Ford coupe. Love the straps holding the hood down, they look very cool. Finned rocker covers, but the fins go the other way. This cool ride is owned by Tony Murray. Based on a 34 Ford rails. It's got an 8BA flathead with an Eaton supercharger from an Aston Martin. It's backed up by a T5 Tremec manual box and it's got rocket racing wheels. With a dropped I-beam and hidden discs behind Buick style finned covers and an MGB lever arm shocks. It's painted in Atlas blue and the white is also a Fomoco colour. Tony hand-formed all the panels himself, which is certainly is of great skill. Nice pickup with a Hemi in it. The graphics look great on there. Come all the way down from Queensland, so that's a good effort. Go so far as to say that the fuel tank in the back is out of a tractor or something similar. Lindsay's 1932 Ford coupe with the salt flat moon caps on there. It's got a set of quad 97s. Very cool. Most people would know that this is Hodge's 34 coupe. It's definitely eye-catching and has been around quite a while. It's an old rod from way back. Nice chop on it. Big set of Hilborns and Hoosier rubber on the back. This is another one from the Hodge stable. This is Lisa's. So both this rod and Andrew's rod were both built late 70s, early 80s, and Hodge's turned them into what you see here. So definitely done a great job. Plenty of louvers in the boot. Another one from the Hodge stable is this 54 F100 pickup. So it was originally built for Hodge's dad about 35 years ago. The truck sits on original rails. It's got a HQ front clip, and the rear has a 12-inch step rails for relocating springs. It's got a mild 351, C4 Auto, shortened diff, painted in chrome yellow. It's got 15x7s and 15x10s with 375 Pro Track rear tyres, and Hodge was nice enough to give it to his daughter Gemma to drive. So this is David's 1927, which is sporting a later model grille. It's got these SRA alloy scoops out the bonnet, very cool. It's a 37 Ford Coupe owned by Gary. It's got the radar wheels with white wall tyres. Very popular wheel and tyre choice. Got that satin finish there as well. Warwick's 34 5 window. Again, another great traditional look. Wire wheels. This is Greg's 1933 Dodge Tudor Deluxe. So definitely a custom, and you can see plenty of metal work has gone into this. 59 Cadillac tail lights. Wheels tucked in at the back there.
bare metal finish, helps you see all the work that's been done on it. It's got a 273 Chrysler, backed up by a 904 Trans. This is Shane's 34 Coupe. Some of the standout parts on this is like the Duggan heads you can see here. So Frank Duggan was the founder of Duggan Balancing back in the 70s and 80s, and his son Shane, who now runs the operation, made these heads. They run, they're much better flow due to their high velocity. So they're only 10 sets made, mainly designed for speedboats. On top of that, it's got the 8-stack fuel injection. And the cooling for the boat heads is by remote electric water pump and upside down VL radiator. And you can see the header tank on the firewall. It's got a Turbo 400 box. The black pieces on the door is the openers. And it's got a Super Trap mufflers from the 80s. And the seats are from a Jag. It's also got a set of 65 Impala tail lights in there, which is something different. This is Tony's 1928 Ford Roadster pickup. Very tidy hot rod. This 41 Willys began life in the States and was actually built by Paul Tretchell Sr. of Orange County Choppers quite a while ago, and has obviously made its way over to our shores. So it's a beautiful finish, Beautiful colour inside, and those Ohio flames, and sporting a 572 big block, and it's all sitting on top of an Outlaw chassis tied to Budnick wheels. So this 40 Ford is owned by Jeff, and it's called Mexicali Rose, which is a great name for a car. Again, black with the flames, can't go wrong. Known as a business coupe, but it's, this one's got the back seat inside, extra passengers. Triple carbs and an old school small block. This is Steve's 1929 Dodge, something a bit different. Vinyl padded roof. Jason's 1936 Ford coupe. It's got a forced induction blower sitting on a Ford small block. Definitely got it down nice and low with the sills on the ground. Alloy 32 Roadster, which is something very different, a reproduction there. Now I don't know if it's a Brookville reproduction. It's certainly well done and looks great the way he's finished it, keeping with all the rivets and so forth, and even what he's done with the rocker covers.
These all belong to the Spades Rod and Custom Club. They've been around quite a while. Roger Brockway and Paul Catlich started the Spades in 1968 when they were just 16, 17 years old. They just did it for fun, and it's actually taken off. It's quite impressive. And this is Roger's 34 Coupe. It's got the drop axle and tube shocks from SoCal Speed Shop. It's a 296 stroker kit with a set of Arden heads. Beautiful blower with the twin 97s, painted Windsor blue. It's 50 years with the same owner, so that's very impressive. As mentioned about the Arden heads, these heads could increase the flathead horsepower from around 100 horsepower to over 200. And they're originally with only 200 to 250 sets produced in the late 40s and early 50s. And they've obviously been reproduced for the hot rodders scene. They were particularly popular in amongst the midget races and the early drag racing applications. There's a few of the Spade members. It's Jamie Camilleri's 32 here. Very nice. Next to it you got Glenn Etchells, and next to that you got Greg Hardy's. Tom Fulton owns this Bonneville style hot rod. It's based on a Bonneville special body from Rod Bods. Runs an 8BA flathead with a 4 1/4 stroker and Arden heads for the MSD ignition and twin 97s, beehive style oil filter. It's got a column mounted shifter to a C4 auto, 32 headlights and 46 forward tail lights. 1934 Chevy running a 350 combo. Quite a tidy car, and you don't see too many of the Chevs.